Bitcoin spent the last week consolidating, with neither the bulls nor the bears getting an edge on which way the crypto will go next. With the debt ceiling debate still going on, this could cause a lot of volatility in Bitcoin. As much as we want to believe that Bitcoin is going to be a safe haven, it isn't yet. It is still a risk asset. So let's take a look at the price action and see what might happen to the cryptocurrency in the next week. As you can see on the charts that we've been looking at over the last couple of weeks, we are just kind of consolidating in these prices. And you can see that our price action is revealing that there might be support and resistance from those parallel channels that we've been using for the last couple of weeks. Since the last update, Bitcoin's low down here at $25,818 has held. So this is promising for the bulls. As long as we hold that low, Bitcoin could potentially go to higher highs. However, a lot of the bearish analysts that I follow about Bitcoin believe that we've got technicals that are working against us if we want to be bullish. There seems to be diminishing interest in the space, with fewer and fewer buys going on and trading volume at lows. When you have a low number of trades going on, this is not positive for any asset, because all it would take for a big sell-off is one whale to decide that they were going to sell a bunch of Bitcoin, and that would push the crypto off to new lows. So looking at the charts, we do have support down here around 25,500, just under the low that it's set, followed by another low down here around 24,500. After that, we go back into the past and you can see that we've got this point of support right at $23,944. Then we move below that and you see that we have a bit of an air gap. There isn't a lot of price action down here, so that means the next level of support might be around $22,000 or the low of this day, which was $22,127. After that, you can see that I've drawn this key trend line that goes all the way back to 2017, and when Bitcoin pulls back to this trend line, it often finds support. Even if it pulls through it briefly, it ends up regaining support and going higher from that point. Going back to more recently, you can see that when it dropped through this trend line back in 2022, it did find a little bit of resistance and had a hard time breaking through, until it did in January of 2023 when we saw the rally going on in the stock market. When we had the regional banking crisis in March, you can see that Bitcoin pulled back and pulled through this trend line just briefly, then bounced back up, found support on it, and that's how we rallied to where we are now. Currently, this trend line is right around $21,500, so that will be a key level of support Bitcoin needs to hold if it's going to maintain its bullish trajectory. If that support breaks, we're looking at the low of March at $19,300, followed by the low that we saw more recently at $16,900, and then after that we've got the low down here at $15,485.62. Many bullish analysts believe that is the low for this bear market cycle, and that we will likely not even see it again. However, I've been listening to the bearish analysts too, and they say that not only is that low going to break, many are predicting a new low between $12,000 and $13,000. I had someone comment on my Bitcoin video last week that it looked like I was trying to predict the weather, and I was just saying it might rain tomorrow and it might not rain tomorrow. I've been in Bitcoin for some time, so I wanted to provide a warning. If someone tries to tell you with certainty that they can predict which way Bitcoin's going to go next, they're either a liar, an idiot, or both. Be very careful of trusting anyone. They might be right once in a while, but nobody in the space is consistently right. Bitcoin has a tendency to surprise everyone. Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency sector may be the most volatile asset in the history of investing. Accordingly, it's important to take your time, buy in small quantities, and take profits when you have them. There are no real experts in the space. There are people who have really good technical analysis, and sometimes that'll provide you insights. But in my experience, the best approach is to know where the levels of support and the levels of resistance are so that you can properly plan your trade. Never assume a level of support will hold, and never assume a level of resistance will prevent Bitcoin from heading higher. I'm not a trader, so I treat Bitcoin the same way I treat any investment that I have. I buy in stages on the way down, and I buy in increasing quantities. Just like my stock investments, I've already allocated the maximum amount that I want to put in Bitcoin, and this will be the total amount that I'm willing to lose in its entirety. This is a very speculative space, and even though crypto has been around for quite some time, and I believe Bitcoin's here for the future, you need to be prepared for the absolute zero scenario. You can follow along in all of my moves in my Bitcoin position every week in my weekend review on my website, getirked.com. Please hit like like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. And I'll see you in the next video.